Okay, it's a warm one, guys, tonight. So if you've got a ball, so if you're watching this later on YouTube or anyone's watching this on YouTube, we're going to focus the first 10 minutes or so on trying to mobilise through the ankles, the toes, and really stretch out through the Achilles, through the calves. If the Achilles, we've talked about before, but if the Achilles get sort of inflamed, often due to tight calves, then it can bleed into the heel and into the plantar fascia, which is not pleasant. It's like waking up in the morning and walking on these spiky balls. So a good thing to do is always to just really get that sensory feeling by massaging the foot. So I would always do a good minute, and really take it into the heel, take it into the middle of the foot, the arch, and then obviously into the ball of the foot as well. And try and do it sort of medially and laterally, and just give it some real good sort of movement pattern. So just in case you haven't got a ball, I won't do it for a minute, but try and get older ones. They're about £4. They're brilliant. They're great to get in the piriformis as well. And actually into the rotator cuff muscles, really good. Okay, so we'll just warm up nice and easy. So all we're going to do is just, if you want to grab hold of something, you can. So imagine that this is a wall, because leaning against something is better to do that calf stretch. But we're just going to take one foot, press it in, spread the toes nice and wide, and take the other leg up, and start by circling the ankle joint. So again, often with running, what happens, Mark, is that depending on how sort of tight the trainers are, the ankle joint can get really jammed, and that can lead to weak muscles. So we like to open up the joint. So, yeah, I've been so busy. I'm going away obviously tomorrow, and I've been so busy all day. And now I've just, done that female thing where you have to change all the beds before you go away. And then flex it and point, point and flex. So point and flex. You can do it on the floor a little bit further down. Can you see? Pointing, flexing, and just notice what happens, what's happening with the leg. So what muscles are pointing it. Sometimes if we know anatomically what happens, then it's a little bit easier for us to understand why things tighten. So as you point the foot, the back of the calf is obviously contracting and working hard and shortening. As you flex it, you are stretching it out and working the tibialis, the beginning. So that's why people have often different injuries when they're running. If you run on your toes, which I do, apparently it's a faster stride, but the problem is obviously you are really working that calf muscle super tight, so it's literally in a contracted position, potentially for like the whole of the run. So that's why it's important that you stretch it out. And release. And then the other side. So again, don't compromise balance for kind of mobility work. And then just, or the other way around, I should say, don't compromise mobility for balance. And then over. So again, really nice. And remember, we've talked about before that the movement patterns live in the joints. So the more mobile our joints are, the more messages are firing to our brain. And point and flex. So again, a little bit further down, point and flex. Good. So yeah, sometimes it's very much kind of the biomechanics of the body. So I've got 3 sons. My middle son has got huge calf muscles. He's always got tight calves. He's very, very slim. My younger one hasn't so much, and he tends to get more hip problems. So again, a lot of it is just identifying where your weakness is. And 2 and 1. Well done. And then just come back again, and then just pendulum. You can do it if you want to just start firing the core up. You can do it in a balanced position, or just like this, just to get a little bit of movement going before we really start with the strength. So when you're looking at Achilles tendonitis, it's that inflammation of the tendon, and the Achilles tendon links from the calf muscle, like from the gastro into the soleus and then into the heel. So it connects the calf muscle to the heel bone, and like I said, it can get super tight. And then circle the other way. So warm, isn't it? It must be about 25 degrees, it feels it. And release. Well done. The other side, so just pendulum. So obviously with hip replacements, that going across the midline is a difficult one. So you might just want to go up to centre, up to centre. And again, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just as though you're stirring something, and again, hold on if you need to, circle back. So just getting everything mobilised before we do some strength work. And release. Okay, this time just take it in to that circle position. So again, just really working through mobility of the shoulder capsule, up, round. And just noticing if there's any clicks. And the other way. And 2. So we'll do a lot of work. Where's the posterior chain tonight? So we'll do some prone work to work the upper back and work through kind of trying to reverse that kyphosis where the shoulders and the back becomes very weakened. And again the other way. And 2. And 1. Well done. And then just up, circle, back. Keep them down. Up, circle, back. And try and keep them in that lengthened pectoral stretch. And 2. And 1. Okay, so for me, Achilles tendonitis you have to strengthen the calf muscles and then obviously really stretch them out. It makes sense to do the strength work first and then to stretch them. So let's start with our feet into parallel. And again, just nice shoulder placement. So shoulders down the back, core connected. So from this angle, what we're going to do is just come up. Try not to let the feet, I'll explain that. Try not to let the feet come out laterally. Yeah, we want to try and keep everything placed down. And we're just going to come up on the balls of the feet. So come up and low. So think about this as strength and really creating that calf strength and working through the balance as well. The only thing with the spiky balls, guys, I don't know if it happens to anybody else, but it always makes my foot itch. And just go again. I'm just going to come on to the wood. And you can stay with that a little bit longer. It's really nice to do this like a single leg raise as well. You know, so kind of it's hard to do when you've not got something to hold on to. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. So try them as well, Mark, single ones. Not tonight, but just, it's a good one to do. And again. So I'd probably try and work on definitely 25, but then the stronger you get, you could maybe do like 2 lots of 20. And really, until the calves start to bother you, then I would keep going. And again. And for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4. And what you could do, which we've done before, so for the next 20, let's see if we can do 20, so do more than we normally do. Come up, and as you come down, bring the toes towards you, so take the toes away, and that will start, obviously, it's very much like doing that, yeah? So it's kind of like the opposite of the calf raise, you're stretching it, strengthening it, stretching it, and strengthen, stretch, and again. Good. So working obviously more through the front of the tibialis muscles. Yeah, the tibialis anterior that runs down the front of the lower leg. I don't really know why I'm doing that. But it's quite a nice movement for the shoulder anyway. And again, let's go 10. Let's go 9. Let's go 8. 7. 6. So if you were just to do calf stretches and not stretch them out, then obviously the calves are going to get super tight again. Yeah, you get definition, but you'll start getting adhesions, and the tightness then might start causing a little bit of inflammation in the tendon. 2, and 1. Okay, so now they probably feel like you're going to really feel the stretch. So ideally, if I had a wall, if you've got a wall, guys, and you don't really need to look at me to do this, I'll just show you it, and then you can find a wall. Take that back heel away, and then just so creating that sort of stretch. So push against the wall, and just hold. And we're going to do it longer than we normally do, so we're going to do 2 lots of 20. You can do 3 lots of 20 seconds, great. Push that heel to the floor. And we're going to start getting some strength work into downward dog into plank in a bit. So push that heel down. Feel the stretch again. You can bend the knee a little bit. It's hard to get when I'm not there to watch you. If you bend your knee a little bit, it can get into the soleus, the lower calf muscle. Push the heel right the way down again. Feel that stretch. And release again a bit. Push again. Let's 20. Nothing better than hanging off a step mark as well. So if you've got like your stairs, placing one foot completely on the step, the other foot, placing your foot on it, like sort of near the ball of the foot, and letting the heel drop down. I'll show you in a sec with a block. I wonder if I could turn my camera around and show you outside. I've got a really good step outside. And switch again. And again, push it down. Obviously you can do both legs together. I always like to do one, and then it just identifies where your tight is. So keep pushing down. If you've not got a wall handy, then obviously you can just place the hand on the knee. Keep pushing. Again, you can just have a slight softness in the knee. If you are super tight, you can sometimes, I can always feel it down into the lower soleus muscle. And then down again, sometimes into the side as well. We'll get into that peroneus as well. And down. Just release again and push again. So we'll do plenty of these. We'll do some with the band as well. And push down. Keep pushing, keep pushing. I don't know if you've got, probably not access at the minute, but let's say this was a step. I don't know if I'll be able to do it actually. Yeah. So if this was a step, like some part of my stairs, then you'd keep like left foot on, and you just let that right heel drop down. And then as it drops down, obviously you can imagine it's pulling, so it's really stretching out that Achilles tendon. And again, that's a really nice one to do. I'd hold for a good 20-30 seconds, and then again, I wouldn't do both of them together. I would always do separate. This is too squishy, so it's not ideal, whereas obviously a step is going to be that little bit more sturdy. So they're really good ones to do. Yeah. Another good one to start with Achilles and getting some movement patterns going is come into your sort of slightly a bit wider than hip distance apart, and we're just going to take the hips backwards. We're not coming into a plank yet. We're just going to chin to chest, take the hips backwards, and we're going to start coming down. And again, you will get into taking the sit bones up to the ceiling. Sometimes by taking the legs a little bit wider than parallel, it's just a bit less tension on the back. And again, you can just hang there. You can move forward and back. Yeah. Stretching the whole of the back leg. You might even, I've done quite a lot of bar classes today where I use the butt quite a lot, and I can feel it right almost into my bottom. Yeah, so again, that's quite nice to do. Or side to side's a nice one as well. So don't worry if you can't reach the floor, just let the head hang. And again, just notice as you go right. How does that right leg feel as you sway to the left? So for me, I have quite a bit of inconsistency in my left and right leg. My right hamstring is so much tighter than my left. My left hip is a little bit tighter than my right hip. So again, take a breath in, slowly roll up. And just notice everything's connected. So if you are tight through your calf, you're likely to have quite tight hamstrings. That in turn can very well lead to a tight back. So again, chin to chest, hips backwards. Let's go down again. Mark, I'm glad you asked for these because I really have realised how tight I am today. I seem to do loads and loads of glutes. So again, letting the head hang, and again, just forward and back. Forward and back. So don't force it. You know, if going down to the floor makes your hamstrings feel like they're about to snap, that is not the right stretch. You only want to feel it about a 3 to 4 and a 1 to 10. So that's much more comfortable for me. And again, sway side to side. Yeah, take a breath in. Draw the navel in, gently back up. It's amazing how many stretches and how long it can take. Just give yourself a little pelvic circle, because again, if you tight through the hamstrings and you do hamstring stretches, you can feel like the back feels a little bit uncomfortable. And then take it into this position. Another nice one to do is just to take the leg straight. Again, you can grab hold of something, put the heel on the floor, and just gently sit back and just slowly start coming down. Not very far, that's enough for me. I can feel the hamstrings. You can maybe pull a little bit on the toes. And again, feel that stretch. You can obviously do this lying down with a resistance band. So you put a resistance band around the foot and you would just bring the toes towards you. Release it a bit. Toes towards you. And release. Take it back down. Bend the knee. Slowly back to centre. And back. So again, you just literally, so you can start with a flat foot, chin to chest, hips backwards, gently down towards the floor. Yeah, if you can reach the floor, great. If not, no problem, but you can bring the foot up. And again, feel that stretch. So for me, because I'm tighter in my hamstrings at the minute than my calf, it's very much a hamstring as well. And just hold. And take the foot down, bend the knee, slowly restack back up. Well done. Okay, then take it into runner's stretch. So place the right foot in front of the left, even though I've just placed my left in front of the right. I told you, I need this holiday. Okay, take it, hands up, and push the hips in one direction. Take a breath in. I keep doing that female thing where I keep thinking, ooh, find an item of clothing. I might just shove that in the case. Crazy. So it's really nice to get that lateral stretch, and then the other way, and then we'll take it into full runner stretch where we do a roll down. Take a breath in. We don't often just do stretches, do we? Sometimes it's so good for the body. And then take the hips backwards, chin to chest, just gently. So my other video camera, or my other phone, seems to be recording well, guys. So I'll put this one on and just title it. Deep stretches for the hamstrings, calves, lower back, and strengthening for the upper back. And we'll focus very much on that tonight. Take a breath in. Again, take the hips backwards, take the chin to chest and just gently start rolling down. Letting the head hang. So I think over the last few weeks we've focused quite a lot on hips, haven't we? Done quite a lot of hip work and bridge and things. And again, take a breath in. So we won't neglect the hips. We'll do a lovely stretch on the floor. 2 more. Last one, breath in. Gently up. So today, I think I said to you actually, guys, I did a kind of high intensity 40-minute session. So high intensity but low impact. So quite a little bit hit but no jumping at all. So if you wanted to do something cardiovascular when you're feeling really fit and energized and then do this afterwards, that'd be a really good kind of combo. So again, take the hips backwards, chin to chest and gently. Oh, in fact, sorry guys, let's just do this one again. So pushing the hips out in one direction. So if you are tight in like the psoas area, this is a nice stretch. Take a breath in. Last one, in through the nose, out through the mouth, back to centre and the other direction, and again. Last 2. Last one. Well done, and then you 2 roll down. So again, in this position, try not to close your eyes when you do. Even if you normally do with a roll down, your balance can be a bit compromised. Take the hips backwards, the chin to chest, take the weight to the front, letting everything become really, really heavy, head hanging. And yeah, feel that. So already I can feel that the hamstrings are loosening up a little bit. Yeah, the calves are feeling a little bit better. Take a breath in. And out. And again. Last one, breath in. And slowly up. And one more time. Again, chin to chest, hips backwards, rolling down, taking the weight to the front, letting everything become really, really heavy. And again, breath in. Last one. And slowly reset. And again, just taking it into that pelvic circle, just to release. So look at the time, like literally, it has just gone by in a whiz. So if you think you would never normally give yourself the luxury of stretching out for that long, so yeah, good luck in finding that time. But we're going to keep with it. I thought it was going to be about 7:10 then, guys. I apologise for those people who are tight in their calves and hamstrings. You should be watching this video. Okay, let's stick with it. Let's bring a little bit of core work in. I don't have to rush off. I thought I had to rush off, guys, tonight at 10 to, but we'll just see how we go. So chin to chest. Take the hips backwards. And again, gently down. Just notice. Hopefully there's a little bit of difference. You might feel, I hope you feel like you've got a bit further. Walk it into your plank position. Okay, let's hold the plank. Firing up the core. Again, the stronger the core is, so a lot of force goes through the body when you run. Running's great. I like it. 5K is a perfect distance to go. You can still keep your flexibility with 5K, and injuries are likely to be a lot more minimal than if you're pounding for much longer. So you're best doing 5K 3 times a week than doing a long run on a Saturday. Take the hips nice and high. Walk the hands back. So just go easy. I know some people find this harder than heels down, no doubt about it. Yeah, walk it back, keeping the core engaged. Have a bit of softness in the knee if you need. And gently back up again. Okay, let's go again. Let's fire up the core some more. Chin to chest, take the hips back. Gently down to the floor. Letting the head hang. Oh. And this is why you'll find a lot of yoga people will get hands down, because they do an awful lot of downward dog movements. Tight through the tummy. So walk the feet a little bit closer together. Bring the right knee in and the left. And the right and the left. And again. And 3. And 2. And 1. Back into downward dog. Walk it a little bit, hands a little bit further back. Feet are a bit closer this time. Just walk the right heel down. How does that feel? Yeah, how tight does it feel? How far away is the heel from the floor, or is it all the way down? Take it back up again. We should really have checked it at the beginning. It's really good to do an assessment. So check sometimes, when I'm not here guys, check it on a morning. And try and do a stretch routine and check afterwards. Take it down again. And again. Both up, both down. Walk it back. Restack. Back up. I can feel my tensions earlier when nobody had done anything to tidy up. I was like, I can feel them all melting. Chin to chest, take the hips back. Let's go again. Oh, lovely. Bring it in. Okay, hold this position. Just hold it. I was going to do something. Forgot I know what I was going to do. Okay, bring your hands a little bit closer together. Just watch for a sec if you can. I know it's not ideal that you're having to look at the screen, because actually the head should be in perfect alignment. Neck should be in perfect alignment as well, not breaking the bud. But I'm just going to gently go into what we call chaturanga, where you bend the elbows, you come into upward dog. If you don't want to attempt that, that's absolutely fine. Just keep in plank and walk it back up again. Walk it back. And slowly up. And well done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is come down onto the floor, and we're just going to take it into a cow to cat pose, because again, running, well, any kind of sport really potentially can cause issues with the back, whether it's tight hips, whether it's tight piriformis, whether it's tight hamstrings, calves, whatever. So no better position than cow to cat. So go into cow pose, stick your bum right up in the air. Head up as well. Don't move the head at all. The neck is the last thing to move. Take a breath in. Draw the navel in. Start rounding the spine. And letting the chin be the last thing to drop. Keep the chin where it is. Go back into cow pose, leading from the bottom. And so you're stretching the tummy in this position. Shortening the back. Take a breath in. Exhale, start now from the tailbone, rounding, rounding, rounding. And one more. Exhale. and just gently glide side to side. So just drop me a line if you want. Let me know how you find the stretch session. Sometimes people think stretches, you know, oh, you don't really do much. And actually when they start doing them, they realise how inflexible they are and how difficult they find them. So again, just side to side. And slowly up. So we're going to keep with that posterior chain. So this is where we were saying about Achilles, that we want to stretch them out, obviously. Stretch the calves, but we also want to strengthen the back leg. When you're running, use a lot of hip flexion. So we want to really use a lot of hip extension now as well. So point that foot. If the calves really do start to kick in too much, have a little bit of softness. But pointed foot works the back leg, the bum, the hamstrings, the calf. Make sure you're not dropping. So bring it up nice and tall. And lift. And lift. And lift. David, this would be Sandra's at worst session ever. So 4-point kneeling, and all the moves we've done tonight, like I say, are really to work through the back of the body. For people who obviously have to avoid lymphedema and things, it's not, you wouldn't be doing this session at all. But for anyone wanting to strengthen butt, back legs, shoulders, core, really good. Hold it up, bring it in. So we won't do too many tonight, mainly because my bottom is already aching from 3 sessions today. 2, 1, bring it in, flex the foot, push it up, for 2, for 3, for 4, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Back into plank, back into downward dog, walk the hands back a little bit, see if you can raise that leg up, bring it a little bit further in, bring the leg in, tuck it under, and feel that lovely stretch right through the bum, and just down. If you struggle with knees, this might not be ideal, and you might want to go into normal glute stretch, guys. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it is, but I'll just show just in case. So it's pretty the same kind of scenario, but you're just laying supine as opposed to prone. You can take the leg up. So pigeon, I love the one that we were just doing, but it's not great for some people's knees. And it's executed really badly. You have to really monitor it. So just look at your knee, guys. The knee's not in, the knee comes out into a right angle, yeah? So you stretch it out. We're not going to grab the foot of the back leg like we normally do. We're going to do some hip flexor stretches in a different position. And then come back up again. The hard bit sometimes is getting out of this. And just move. And then just come back into downward dog. No, sorry. 4-point kneeling. I'm going to make you do it. You can if you want. You can try this move in plank. So that one. So you'd hold. Make sure you're lifting out the breastbone. I don't want any of this going on. I don't want to squeeze it. So you want to keep everything really, really tight through the core. Lift for 8. Lift for 7. So you can try it like that. Or just in your 4-point kneeling position. So again, really good for osteoporosis as well. Hold it up, hamstring curl it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, push up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back. Up. Switch yourself around. If you don't like this one, the easiest way to get into it is up, in, take the foot inside, and the other knee pointed out. Rest it down. You should feel a stretch in the bottom, sometimes into the lower back. And just gently back. And again, just do that little rolling cat. Roll the other way. And well done. Come up into kneeling. What we need to do, we're going to keep it with the stretches. We're going to do a little bit of core work on our backs in a bit, but more for mobilising the spine and the hamstrings. I don't want to undo the good work. So, if you are super tight in the hip flexors, the first position is literally stood like this. So we're not forgetting the hips. So we're going to stand up nice and tall. Yeah. And remember the anterior posterior tilt. We want to have a posterior tilt. We are tucking. Imagine that we're on the mat and we are pouring the drinks in from our pubic bone into our belly button. So nice little stretch there. I tight through my hips. I don't really feel this one, but I know a lot of people do. So that's your first one. You can reach up and over. If you want a bit more, step it forward. So you want to take that back leg onto an angle. Can you see? It's not upright, it's on an angle. And you can feel it like that. You can put your hands down if you prefer. You can do it quite dynamically. So this is a nice one, Mark, where you are feeling the hamstring stretch in the opposite leg, and then you come into the hip flexor, hamstring, hip flexor, hamstring, hip flexor. You can do it with the knee away, but it's super hard. So it gives you an identifies where you feel the stretch. So are you tighter when you go into this position? Are you tighter through the quads, through the hips, or here? For me, no. Like literally no competition. Don't feel an awful lot through the back leg at all. A little bit, but not much. Mine is much more hamstring. So for me, that one is the one. Chin to chest, gently down, and feel. If it's any consolation, if you do feel stretches, it just generally means your muscles are as well really working well. So they're obviously going to be tired, more strength work you do. So to the other side, again, simple one, not simple, that's not fair. If you're tight through here, it can be quite major. So it's one that physios always give out if someone's tight through the hips. So again, you just tuck under, feel a nice, you can feel a little divot. You can reach up, take it over, make sure you've got something soft under your knee. That's the hardest part of this. Or, again, into that move. Feel that stretch. Lovely, lovely stretch. So you can just hold it. I'm a little bit tighter. I was saying that one. I'm a little bit tighter in this left hip. So I can feel that more. So I might just do a static hold. Or his hamstring's nowhere near as bad now for some reason. And in. Or I might just chin to chest, gently down. Letting the head hang towards the thigh. And again, just feeling that you can give yourself a bit of a pull. And restack. And there is nothing wrong whatsoever with getting a roller. Getting a roller. In fact, I won't, if you've not got one, guys, I know some of you don't, so I won't use the session with the roller. But obviously, calves. Now, Mark, when I first started doing calves on rollers years and years, so it was probably 2011, I think I did my Pilates training. I was at the time quite a kind of gym bunny, and you know, all I did was like cardiovascular stuff, running, and I couldn't have done this without yelping. Yeah, so I used to get down the stairs on a morning after running, and I'd be like an old woman. I'm actually an older woman now, and I get down them. So stretching does work, rolling does work. So again, get a roller. Yeah, they're good. I tend to do one calf at a time because then you find the belly of the calf, the gastro, and that's where it tends to be tight. That's where it tends to be. You'll find like little nodules. So again, anyone who's watching this, if you've got a roller, left one, not bad at all. Right one, much more. So again, you can do it onto hamstrings as well. Hamstrings, funnily enough, even though they're one of the tightest parts of my body, they're dead easy to roll on. Yeah, so again, by all means do that. If you tight through your quads, we've done this before, I think. This can be quite painful if you do a lot of squats. This position, just tight through. Make sure you don't roll onto the patella. Not bad actually. Try and avoid the IT band. Some people roll on it. I advise not to. It's white connective tissue, it's not muscle. There's not a lot of blood supply. And the idea of massage is to get that blood flowing. So that advice came from someone much, much brighter than me medically. So yeah. And anything that feels that painful cannot be a good thing. Okay, so that's that. So lots and lots of stretches. Another good one to do, and this is where we're going to go into a little bit of abdominal work. But a good one to do, Mark, as well, is to grab. I mean, who'd have thought you can do nearly a whole session on kind of the back leg? So it's just flex, point, flex, point. You can do it like that. So just get in, move your feet, move them, yeah? Do that inversion, eversion, onto the back. Same scenario, hamstring, calf stretch. So that, I mean, is not as bad as it normally would because I've done a lot of stretches tonight. Usually when I flex my foot, sometimes it's like, yeah, point, flex, inversion, eversion. So try and just move the foot. Try not to move the whole of the leg. It's just the foot in and out. It takes a little bit of time. It took me quite a while to be able to do this. In and out. It really do work. Honestly, I used to get terrible pains in my feet. And I've been doing HIIT now 3 times a week and my feet have been absolutely fine. Other than walking into something at 1:30 the other night and I thought I broke my toe. But that was a different thing altogether. Yes, again, all them ones as well. And obviously, really nice to get some, if you feeling it through your foot as well with running, to just get a nice ice bottle and roll on it as well. Okay, so let's just keep with the hamstrings. So keep with stretching out. So we're just going to do normal roll-ups. So again, we talked about kyphosis, and the problem with roll-up is there's an awful lot of flexion. So we're not doing many, we're just going to do 12. Well, it's quite a few, I suppose. But what I want you to do, when you take your arms overhead, take a big breath in. Have a nice little chin nod. Bring your arms forward, sending the rib cage towards the hips, gently up. If you are worried about that roundness already, just reach up. Reach forward if you want, but don't flex forward. So just come to here. Draw the navel in, gently down. Chin to chest, exhale. Oh, but if you're not worried about that and you want to stretch the hamstrings a bit more, forward, restart back up. Everybody's different, so always think about what your body needs. Again, so Gary's not on, but Gary's more tight through here than his hips, what am I saying? So for him, having a straight leg is not ideal, because he's stretching the back of the legs, but actually getting a little bit of difficulty here. So again, some people people, and sometimes I can feel it there, not often, but sometimes, so I bend my knee and just come up like this, and that feels nicer through the hip. So again, always think that when we're using one muscle, contracting one muscle group, we're lengthening the opposite. So this one's quite nice as well. Oh. Restart. Bring the navel to spine. Let's do 3 more. And 2. I don't know if anyone else travels in this. I always travel. Restart. And slow. And release. Well done. Take that left leg. So like I mentioned before, if you tight through the back leg, sometimes you might be tight through the bottom and the back. So just gently take this arm, right arm out to capital T, left hand goes to the outside of the right leg, and you just bring it over. You don't have to touch the floor. So I'm a bit tight round my SI joint. I can feel that quite a lot. Take a breath in, let the belly rise. Take both arms out, bring the leg back, and then just squeeze either the knee or the back of the leg. If the knee is a little bit tender, sometimes pulling on it is not very comfortable, just to stretch that back out. Take that right leg long, opposite, take it over, notice if there's any difference. This left side is nowhere near as tight for me, which just kind of shows, because I'm tightening my right hamstring, it leads a little bit up into the bum. And that piriformis SI joint, take a breath in. Last one. Well done. Just bring it in, either like that or just to stretch out through. And then both. And just pull. And just in case the hips are a bit tight on the inner thighs, just gently butterfly. And into closed leg position. Take the knees to the right, the head to the left. Let the belly rise on an inhale. Exhale, draw the navel in, back to centre. And the other position. Inhale, let the belly rise. Exhale, draw in. Back to centre. And again. So just put your hand on the belly, let the belly rise. Exhale, feel the navel come away. Back to centre one more time. And hopefully it releases a little bit. Last one. And gently over. Don't think I've ever felt so chilled in a Pilates class, guys. And so I hope you enjoyed. Very different to what we would normally do. But I think sometimes we just need to listen to our body. So I just want the last couple of minutes. We're just not going to do anything too major. Just push the pubic bone down towards the floor. More importantly, draw that navel in. Slide the scapula down the back. Imagine you've got marble underneath your nose and you're just rolling it away and lifting. I don't want you to lift high. Just hold. Got a little bit of cramp. take it into that. If you can, grab the hands. If you can't, don't worry. Just keep them long like that, reaching towards the feet, keeping the neck nice and long, keeping the upper back strong. Stretch through the pectoral wall. Take it out a little bit and up. So pushing up. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float back down. Take your hands on your head and have a lovely windscreen wipe, releasing any tension in the lower back. Just side to side. Oh, I love this. You can have a little circle back. It's quite nice to take both legs straight, take both heels in one direction, both heels in the other, and again, and again. And just in case anyone is tight in there, we've stretched our hamstrings enough, so hopefully in this position, as you pull in, the hamstrings shouldn't tighten too much because we've lengthened them out a fair bit tonight. So you can just pull, just for those I've neglected who've got tight quads. We've done a little bit but not much. And the other side.